Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another video. So today we have quite a lot of Star Wars news. We're going to be talking about The Mandalorian, but first of all, Natasha Bordizzo, who's going to play live-action Sabine Wren in the Ahsoka show, has teased Ezra Bridger mission in the upcoming series. While speaking with Dagobah Dispatch podcast, the Ahsoka star said the only thing Sabine Wren's been focused on in the years since Star Wars Rebels is the obligation she has towards her friend. As we saw in the animated show, Ezra left her one message in a hologram, that he's counting on her to bring him home. Sabine stayed to protect Lothal. She assumes that's what Ezra meant when he said he was counting on her, but by the time of the epilogue of Star Wars Rebels, which still hasn't happened, that's going to be later in the show, she realized he wanted her to bring him home. Here's the full quote from Natasha. She's been through a lot, and she's still a stubborn cookie, but I think that you find her at the end of Star Wars Rebels, she was a huge part of the liberation of Lothal, and many regard her as this hero, but she does not feel that way about herself. She's only thinking about the obligation she has towards her friend, Ezra, so she's got that mission in mind, not her hero status. And she's got a huge journey to go on with Ahsoka, so we find her at the start of that. So she's teasing the big search for Ezra, and Ahsoka's hunt for Thrawn. Now she did reiterate a similar sentiment at Star Wars Celebration. Sabine has long hair because she's been through a lot. This period of time we find her at in the Ahsoka show at the start of the series is very different to the Sabine from later on. This is the downtime on Lothal, where she's kind of taken a step back, grown her hair out, before she cuts it again before their search, and at Celebration we did see both iterations. She will have short hair again, and she does tease that in the time she's been on Lothal, she's been obsessing over Ezra. Is there going to be a romantic subplot, or does she miss him as a friend, as a brother of sorts? This is something Natasha said in the past is going to be explored in the show. She's not giving anything away, but she does make it very clear Sabine is about to embark on an even deeper journey than the one she went through in Rebels. Natasha says she really needs to face herself, her own demons. She needs to face her internal struggles in order to get to a place she needs to. And I do wonder how this relates to her Mandalorian identity. Is she going to find out Mandalore is reunited? Is she going to go there and see Bo-Katan? Is that going to give her the hope she needs? We're about to find out. 2.5 months to go. This is the way. And one final thing Natasha teases is that Sabine has changed a lot. She's basically saying don't be surprised if she's not exactly the same as you remember in Rebels. And so now, my dear friends, Rosario Dawson reflects on what it was like to have Ashley Eckstein on set for the Ahsoka show, the voice and the legacy of this character. Here's what she said. It was absolutely remarkable to have her on set. We were beside ourselves, and she came in and you could see it in her eyes. It was very similar to the look in Dave Filoni's eyes. These are people who've been working in dark rooms with microphones and these animated characters for so long, and to now see it three-dimensionally is pretty wild, and to have her energy there and her blessing on this show is everything, because she's so much a part of this show too. Rosario picked up the mantle for the character in live action in The Mandalorian, in the Book of Boba Fett, and now her own series. We're also excited and we can't wait, but it's so good to hear Ashley was on set too, and she gave her blessing. Now just before we talk about The Mandalorian, a wild rumor from Giant Freaking Robot. They've historically been not very reliable, so take this with a heap load of salt, but they claim in the new Jedi Order film in 2025 with Rey, we're gonna see Luke's Force Ghost and Anakin's Force Ghost too. Just as Hayden is returning for the Ahsoka show, so too he's going to return for that movie as well. This is probably just a wild guess on their end. I wouldn't take it too seriously, but interesting nonetheless. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see both these Force Ghosts. And so finally, my dear friends, this could be a massive win for The Mandalorian. Lucasfilm have revealed their Emmy submissions for the show. They've unveiled which cast and crew they're putting forward, and it's an extensive list of creatives behind the 3rd season of The Mandalorian as they go for gold. And it makes you realize and appreciate just how many people work on these shows. And what's really cool is that every episode of season 3 has some kind of nod, including submissions for all the Mandalorian characters, guest stars, the directors, producers, visual effects, and so on and so forth. So let's take a look at the highlights. We begin with the category Outstanding Drama Series. We have all the regular executive producers like Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Kathleen Kennedy, Colin Wilson, Rick Famuyiwa, Karen Gilchrist, John Barnicki, and Carrie Beck. And then for your consideration, directing for a drama series, Rick Famuyiwa, Rachel Morrison, Lee Isaac Chung, Carl Weathers, Peter Ramsey, and Bryce Dallas Howard. And for me, the directors on season 3 that stood out were Rick Famuyiwa's episodes and the one by Lee Isaac Chung, episode 3. And then for writing of a drama series, we have Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni again, and Noah Claw, who also worked on the Book of Boba Fett. And then for lead actor in a drama series, Pedro Pascal. Now interestingly enough, in season 3, he was not on set, he just did the voice. And then in the female category for lead actress, there's no surprise it's Katie Sackhoff, who I think had the best acting of the season. And then we get into the supporting actor nominations. The male category is Carl Weathers, and the female is Emily Swallow. I definitely agree with this. Carl Weathers in The Mandalorian ever since season 1 has been very charismatic. I've really loved Grief Karga. He's undergone so many changes since the first season, not just in terms of appearance, but character-wise too. He's had a very satisfying arc so far, saving the day, being there for Din, having solid values despite having a dodgy past with the Guild, and I think Grief Karga is one of the most underrated characters in the Mandoverse. For supporting actress, as I say, Emily Swallow. Her performance and character development as the armourer was fantastic. She also underwent a very drastic change, becoming more lenient and accepting of other Mandos, really coming to understand it doesn't matter what kind of Mandalorian you are, their numbers are their strength, not their secrecy, which she once believed in season 1. Now in terms of guest actors in a drama series, here are the choices by Lucasfilm. Obviously Giancarlo Esposito, then they have Christopher Lloyd, Jack Black, Paulson Hyung Lee, Ahmed Best, and Omid Abtahi. My two picks amongst those are Paul as Carson Teva and Omid Abtahi as Dr. Pershing. Giancarlo Esposito as Moff Gideon always packs a punch too. He's definitely up there as one of the best characters the show has to offer, and just the sheer energy that Esposito brings to the role is incomparable. But I must say when it comes to Christopher Lloyd's character, he was a bit underwhelming. And yeah, sure, it was cool to hear him say Count Dooku, but I think they wasted such a legend in a mediocre role. In terms of guest actresses, they have Amy Sedaris as Peli Motto, Katie O'Brien, and Lizzo. Again, she wasn't the most popular character with Jack Black. That episode was a bit strange, a bit of a deviation, but I do agree about Katie O'Brien, Moff Gideon's comms officer, also known as Elia Kane. Now going back to everyone's favourite curly-haired space aunt, Peli Motto is hilarious. She always manages to lighten up the episode and steal the show whenever she appears. And this might be a hot take, but despite her appearing in season 1, season 2, and season 3, my favourite appearance of the character has been in the Book of Boba Fett, alongside the Major Domo. They had really great chemistry. I know some fans find that cringe. There is something so Star Warsy about her charisma. The galaxy far, far away is richer for her inclusion. I love her. For character voiceover performance, there was always just going to be one logical choice, Shirley Henderson, the Ancellans. Shirley is also the one who back in 2019 voiced Babu Frick for The Rise of Skywalker. We've also got some fantastic nominees in terms of casting, cinematography, fantasy and sci-fi costumes, character hairstyling, character makeup, music composition which is Joseph Shirley and Ludwig Göransson, original main title theme which is Ludwig, and plenty more unsung heroes who do the visual effects, sound mixing, producing, sound editing, and of course stunt performance. It's not Pedro Pascal in the Mando suits most of the time, it's Lateef Crowder and Brendan Wayne, but also credited for stunt performance is Paul Darnell, JJ Dashnell, and Ryan Ryosaki. Best of luck to all concerned, this could be a massive win for Mando. But share your thoughts on this and everything we spoke about in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you always.